Welcome back to the DIY Powerwall project part 6. As you can see, I have this long particle board, but this is just going to hold 2 columns of 7 PCBs, and each PCB will link up to each series string in parallel. So these won't be separate parallel packs, these will be parallel packs to each series string. So I finally got around to soldering and putting all the feet on the PCBs and the SMD fuses as well. They arrived the other day, and my XT60 connections arrived as well, because so what I plan on doing is these are going to be joined in parallel, so positive positive, minus to minus, and then I'm going to use the smaller rings to make an XT60 connection to the other main board for each series string. So that's what we're going to do, and I've just not sure if you can see that, but just kind of roughly marked out where each PCB was on the original one. So I'm going to screw these all in and we'll go from there. Okay, there we go. All 14 boards are up. It's not perfect, but this is DIY, it's still going to work. So I hope it's starting to visually make some sense now. So I'm basically joining these boards in parallel, negative to negative, positive to positive, negative to negative, positive, positive. Now I've run out of these ring connectors, so I'm just going to go off the J car and get some more. And as I said before, we're going to utilize this positive, this negative, the M4, the M4 size, to have XT60s on both sides. So these are not linked this way, they are linked horizontally. Okay, just an update. So I got most of them on there now. I still have to tighten all these screws. That's the hardest bit. The nuts on the back, I need to put like a needle nose plier to hold it back and tighten them up there. And of course, I have run out of M6 nuts and bolts, and there's one cord left and I actually need to do. So you go up to Bunnings and do that. And here's how I envisage the link. So imagine this is the end of the first of my main board, and this is the XT60 female connector. And we've got ring terminal there for positive, ring terminal there for negative. Okay, that leaves this dangling XT60. And on the other side, so pretend this is this board, I'll have the male version on this side. So I just have to add them up. And I was thinking of just going the easy way out and using Wago connectors, but then you've got these dangling live wires with no protection. So yeah, we're not doing that. And this way with XT60, I can actually charge individual cell groups before joining them together, just to make them the same. Yeah, so I've got a lot of soldering to do for the XT60 connections. How many have to do? 14 or 13 now, to be exact, and crimping. So I'll leave you back in after all that. Alright, so I have made quite a bit of progress. I didn't do too many updates in between because I was getting a bit frustrated. But yeah, it was important to work on this with no batteries in it. As you know, as soon as you put a battery in it, everything is live. And especially when tightening these, where I put like something behind there, what do you call it, spanner or a pliers. The positive terminal's right here and negative's right here. You can easily short it. So when I put the cords for you here, so these are the other XT60s on the other existing board. I'm gonna have to remove all the batteries in there. Better be safe than sorry, and then hook those up, those terminals up, tighten them all up, and yeah, then I can join them up once I test the voltages and make sure that they're pretty similar. But yeah, I just randomly chucked all these in. It's just it's a mammoth job. The beauty of this is that, of course, you can pull it out as you need and put it back in. That's the whole point of it. These 4 holder 18650s, two of them. They are pretty good. They're very tight. They're very secure, which is good because you don't want too much. You don't want any resistance. But yeah, getting these out, I have to use like a little plastic spatula to pry it out. There's one little terminal here that wasn't sitting very well, and I had to push all the way in. It's still making good contact. It's right in there, but it's recessed all the way in. I have to keep an eye on that. I'll see if I can do a voltage test with this in my hand. Okay, these are the male connectors, so I'm going to be a bit careful. It is 4.12 volts. That's just one of the strings. So yeah, it is working. But I'll test all of those, and yeah, for tomorrow's job, we'll be removing the batteries from the old Powerwall and putting in the XT60 connections, and I'll loop you in once I do that. Almost there. I forgot to mention that I do have an additional row, but again, waiting for SMD fuses. But yeah, I don't know if I'll put an additional row. I had the facility to. If I do that, I actually do have to make some more connections here, but we'll see how we go with these two. This is complete now. Yeah, it's very time consuming, and it is getting quite expensive. And I'll do an itemized breakdown of the price of all this further down in the episode series. Might be the next episode, I don't know. Okay, it's now the morning. This is the original board. I've attached all the series strings with XT60 connections. If I could go back, I would tell myself I'm doing all the wiring first before I mount them on the wall, because it's extremely hard to get something underneath there because yeah, there's no room. There's no room. So yeah, if I go back, if you want doing this yourself, do all the wiring first and tighten them all. I've tightened them all to the best of my abilities so far, and this has been charged up. The other board is sitting at 4.1 volts per string. So I'll just quickly test all the voltages here, and I will join them up for you. All right, so before we join them up, we're going to check the voltages, that they're pretty similar. Otherwise, we get inrush of current. So we'll check with the very top string. This is string number 7. On the main board, it is 3.941, 4.12. So no. 4.12, 3.894. So that's pretty low. The next one down, 3.393, 4.12. 3.91, 4.08, 3.91, 4.13, 3.93, 4.11, and the last one, 4.05 and 4.11. Okay, so this side's going to need more charging. So I got a better idea. Instead of charging it up, I'm just going to drain this with the A-Torch DL24 to kind of match these ones here, because they're about 3.94 volts. So if I bring all these ones down to 4 volts, it should be okay. So I'll leave you back in after that. Okay, it's the next day, and yes, everything is now connected in parallel. And I've put little labels here so I don't kind of connect the wrong pack. It wouldn't matter too much because they're just parallel packs, but I want the cords to be even. So orange, blue, orange, blue, orange. Yeah. Oh, make that come over this side a bit. Orange, blue, orange. And yeah, I discharged these to closely match this voltage and join them up. And I've charged it as much as I could. This one is still a bit unbalanced. It's sitting at about 4.15, and everything else is about 4 volts. So there's a bit of a difference there. This balancer doesn't kick in until it drops below a certain voltage, I think. And this only balances at the very top. But anyway, yeah, I think this is, by my calculations, this is about only 1 kilowatt hour, which seems like a lot of work for all this, but you know, I've learned a lot, and these are salvage cells, and yeah, I'm not looking forward to the price of all this, but I'm pretty proud of my creation. And what else do I need to show you? I put some labels here so the orientation is correct for each cell. I've named it 24 volt lithium ion parallel bank 1 because, you know, I can add another bank down the track. And over here, I have mounted a power board. And yeah, just, yeah, I'm not very good at this stuff, but I could have just hooked it up directly to the AC out, but there's a point there. It's properly mounted in and everything. So what we are going to do now is we are going to switch on the hybrid inverter. There we go. And we are going to see if I can make a cup of coffee first, which is about 1500 watts. And then we're going to see if we can boil a kettle. This is exciting, so I'll get it all plugged in and I'll leave you back in. All right, here we go. 1.32 kilowatts we saw just there before. It's dropped. We're still get descaling on the machine. So this is actually using up the heat, using the heat pump or whatever it is now. So yeah, look, 1.32. It's clicking away. 1.32. It is working. A bit of sag. I'll go head over to the machine and see if it's still going. It's definitely heating it. It's definitely working, guys. Look at it. 1.29, 1.3 kilowatts. Let's do a temperature test. This is my temperature test. It's working. All right, next one is the kettle. Okay, the descaling is finished. We're gonna run the kettle. This is a 1850 to 2200 watt kettle. Here we go. I'll go run over to the board. Well, it turned off because I think we're at low battery. Let's try and switch it back on. One moment. Okay, I've just turned it off and back on again. So I think the voltage sagged way too low for the inverter. So see if I can adjust the parameters. So can I go down a bit lower? Let's go down to 20 volts. It's the lowest I can go. Okay, now I'll go try it again. Okay, we are here now. We switched off. It's not going to run it, oh no. Okay, I switched it back on again and I've plugged in the AC. Actually, I think it's bypassing it now, see? It's just switched back on. 2 kilowatts. Okay, I charged it all the way up and it still bypasses via AC. So look, I can't draw 2100 watts from this current system because of the voltage sag, so that's the limitation. So even though I can't draw 2000 watts without the inverter cutting out, I still technically can with AC assisting because of this really neat hybrid inverter. I can draw 1500 watts with the battery alone, but the great thing about this unit is that the AC can kick in and provides the shortfall, and perhaps the solar can even provide the shortfall. So I'll have to test it out at some point, but not all a disappointing result. I did manage to run my coffee machine, which is 1500 watts. But there we go. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.